Hello and welcome to Business Standard Dialogue. It's a weekly webinar series hosted by Business Standard. And today's topic is West Bengal ready for a makeover? I'm your host, Nivedita Mookerji from Business Standard. Let me introduce the panelists. Dr. Rajeev Singh, Director General of Indian Chambers of Commerce. Welcome to the show, Dr. Singh. Mr. Umesh Chowdhary, Mr. Umesh Chowdhary, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Titagarh Rail Systems. Ms. Ishita Ayan Dutt, my colleague from Business Standard based in Kolkata. So I'll begin with Ishita, the journalist. Ishita, what are you picking up in Kolkata when you're going out reporting? What is the air like? Do you see the change or poriborton in the air?
I see a poriborton in the mood and sentiment. There's a lot of hope that's building because now that the center and state are in political alignment, so there's a lot of hope that there's an opportunity to attract investments, and there are companies wanting to invest in India and looking to engage with the center. So there's hope that they can be encouraged to consider West Bengal.
Right. So after those opening remarks, there is hope and there is expectation. There will be change and some real poriborton probably. Dr. Rajeev Singh from Indian Chambers of Commerce, what are the first steps that you visualize for this change that has to come in or that can come in probably?
I think the first change, what we have seen already, and going ahead on similar lines, we expect more changes to take place, is implementation of central schemes in the state. So the state has already begun by implementing the Ayushman scheme, which provides the coverage, healthcare benefits. And of course, the scheme will be supported by central funds. So it enhances the coverage. It gives, let's say, better access to healthcare.
Can I just come in? Can I just come in for a second since you mentioned Ayushman Bharat, the central scheme? Isn't there an ongoing state scheme anyway? So was there this? What is the big need for this Ayushman scheme, and did people feel the need for this scheme? What will happen?
Sure. So the scheme has been there in place, Swasthya Sati, but I think in terms of the coverage, the number of hospitals, also delayed payments. So that's how I think hospitals have been little apprehensive. And of course, when the people or the patients have to suffer. So with Ayushman Bharat coming in and with the central funds coming in, we feel that people will be freely able to access not only government, but also a large number of private hospitals. And the reimbursements to the hospitals will also be quicker. So that basically enhances the access.
Right.
In similar lines, we expect plenty of other schemes, like Central has plenty of schemes on like the schemes for the FPOs, farmers, because I know that the coverage in that space also has been limited. So with that growing, the agriculture sector will get a push. Nowadays, practically, there are 50% or more subsidy which is provided to the smaller entrepreneurs, farmers, FPOs. So that's another which will have impact on the grassroots. And there are plenty of other schemes like drinking water, uh, other spaces, infrastructure, connectivity. So that will provide a boost to the demand side, and of course it adds to the growth of the state.
Right. So the new BJP government has already issued a roadmap. So according to your understanding, what will be the long-term game really? How should the new government go about it?
See, BJP has already issued its economic roadmap. If we look at the past, nobody had any doubts about the potential of the state. Because Bengal, rather, what we have always heard that what Bengal was and what Bengal is and what more Bengal could have done. And so the potential always existed. Only thing is that in every space, you need to have a very effective implementation on the ground. And it is not only the intent which matters. What really matters is how things get implemented on the ground. You may speak of ease of doing business. You may speak of, let's say, uh, business entry and exits. But the real challenge is how smooth those things are, how effectively they work. Let's say you may speak of single window, but you actually find out that behind the single window, there are many other windows. Also, Bengal has in past, if you look at the past, has been glorious, and Bengal has always maintained the lead in terms of its thinking, forward thinking. And people used to say that Bengal, what thinks today, the world thinks tomorrow. But I think what is important is the phrase has to be what Bengal does today, others do uh, tomorrow. So now the real action is the potential is known, the recipe is known, what really can be done, that is also known. But what is important is how to and how quickly, effectively we can implement. So that is the
Right, right. Thanks. Mr. Chaudhary, glorious past of West Bengal. Everyone talks about that, and we are also talking about a revival at this point. So, from the infrastructure point, how do you think West Bengal revival can actually take place?
Yeah. So good afternoon. As far as infrastructure is concerned, Bengal has been probably one of the most underinvested states over decades. The unfortunate part for Bengal is that over the last almost 5 decades, the center and the state government have never been aligned with each other. As a result of which, because of some political or some coordination issues or some issues, infrastructure has been a big casualty in the state. So uh, we really look forward to this infrastructure getting renovated, rejuvenated in Bengal, not only in Calcutta. When I speak about infrastructure, we should not limit ourselves to the main city, that is Calcutta. But when we go to suburbs, I can give you the case of my own factory. Uh, one of the biggest difficulties that we have is road access, and we employ thousands and thousands of people. We make the most sophisticated equipments there, but sometimes we find it very difficult to even take in material and take out material because there are not enough roads or wide enough roads. So these are things that will require a big boost, and I can clearly see that. Another case in point is the metro railway network. We've seen that Calcutta was the oldest metro railway network in the country, but it has probably become the last now. And we saw yesterday, I was very pleasantly surprised to see yesterday that, for those who are familiar with Calcutta, know that the Chingri Ghata crossing has been a nightmare for all people living here. And the metro work was just not getting completed because they needed a 70-hour traffic break. And immediately after the new government has come in, they've already given the circular yesterday, and they're doing that over this weekend. So, we can already see the action happening on the ground, which is very heartening.
From the Titagarh perspective, what is your expectation? What will be the quickest changes?
No, see, on infrastructure, there cannot be a quick change. Infrastructure upgradation is something that the final result will take some time to come because the infrastructure has to be built. and it has been nonetheless, I would say overdue, but also crumbling the overall infrastructure in the state. So what needs to be seen, how fast the action begins. And like the phrase goes, well begun is half done. We will consider it half done as soon as it is begun. And I just gave you the case in point for the Chingrihata crossing, or we saw a lot of action being taken on illegal construction in the city, which is unauthorized encroachments or illegal constructions. Sometimes, again, when we go to the factory, we see permanent buildings that have come up in the middle of the roads, or eating into the space of the roads. So those things will get implemented, we believe, quickly.
Right. Ishita, I'll come to you next. You went for election coverage to many places, including Shingur. So, what did you pick up from Shingur? What is the biggest ask there? Is job creation the biggest ask, or?
Yes, right now, and that sentiment has been building for a while, since the agitation. Everyone wants a factory, they want jobs. And the interesting thing is, I traveled before Lok Sabha election in 2024 and now, and I saw a higher degree of discontent this time, particularly among families with younger members. So everyone wants that the younger generation should get opportunities closer to home than have to look for it in other districts or even states.
Right, right. On that point, Dr. Singh, I'll come to you. In which sectors do you see maximum potential of job creation? Meaning, can West Bengal become another Maharashtra or Gujarat, or will we see more job opportunities in the services sector? Uh, how do you look at it?
See, first of all, every state is quite unique. So I think Bengal should grow as Bengal. I I understand the meaning when you said that can it become another Maharashtra? You are speaking of industrialization, better infrastructure, all that. Rather, I would go one step ahead. I think even within the state, one has to look at districts which are like better placed in terms of industrial townships and industrializations, and the districts where industrialization is yet to take off or it is at a nascent stage. So within the state also you will have to have a different kind of plan, because the industrial infra, whatever exists, probably the quick win could be to make it more efficient, address the bottlenecks, and make things easier, easy access, easy to operate. So sectorally, Bengal, if you see, the services have been driving the growth, whether that is trade, tourism, transport, IT, real estate, BFSI, banking, finance. Manufacturing also, Bengal has a large base. Bengal is, I think, the second largest state in terms of medium and small companies in India. And Bengal traditionally has been a huge engineering base. That is how you see different companies operating from here. So sectorally, I would say every sector has huge potential, and Bengal should definitely look at because Bengal either, like if you look at in terms of crops, fruits or vegetables or milk or poultry, Bengal is among top three states in India in most of these let's say sub-segments of agriculture and ARD space. So all these also need probably investments towards value addition. Infrastructure you have already heard. Again, defense is one space which state has not really, let's say, got its fair share, considering that it's a huge industrial base, engineering base, so many MSMEs, although GRSC operates from here and there is OFP. But of course, there is a need to have many more. services, IT, I'll give one small example here. Like we don't have focus on GCC. Now, we don't have a GCC policy also. Maharashtra launched their GCC policy, and that one policy and a little bit of focus on, let's say, the city of Pune ensured that within 1 year, more than 30 lakh square feet of office spaces, uh, in a way, get taken. This is what a policy and an effective policy can do. So I think state needs to focus on IT, ITES. Entire world is riding the way of AI now. So technology again, because Bengal is known for its intellectual capital. So the industries in the creative economy space, IT, AI, um, uh, all these spaces. So for Bengal, somehow, fortunately, Bengal is blessed with, I would say, everything. West Bengal has fertile land. West Bengal has water. West Bengal has location. West Bengal is a feeder market for entire East Northeast. It has good connects. So Bengal can focus on variety of sectors, but cutting across, one has to look at the issue of land, the issue of ease of operations, uh, the issue of enabling infra, the issue of enabling ecosystem. So if we fix these will cut across all the key sectors, which can, let's say, fuel the growth of the state.
In the coming years, do you see any semiconductor plant or any electronics manufacturer setting up base in West Bengal somewhere? Will a Foxconn come to anywhere in Bengal?
I would pray that they come,
Okay.
and because one investment has already gone to Assam, and of course, Gujarat has got one. Bengal, in between, there were talks, but on these lines, I would say what Bengal needs and why Bengal lost out, although one need not go into the reasons and how it worked out and what were the issues and what was right, what was wrong. But Tata Nano exit from the state was a huge event, which dented state's image. So what really can bring back, let's say, the brand Bengal is one anchor investment. One big investment happens in the state, and then you again see the positivity and let's say that sentiment going up, and then because even now
Right.
with this change, we get to hear from different parts, businesses which exist here, businesses which are outside. People have been quite bullish, and they have been asking that how is it doing? Is it a good time? Should we go for buying land? What kind of investments we can make? But one big investment, whether it is by Foxconn or anybody else, will will really change the whole sentiment.
Yeah, that's an important point you made. With that point, I'll go to Mr. Umesh Chowdhary. Mr. Chowdhary, brand Bengal, that's an important point. And if there is an anchor investor, things will follow. There will be ripple effect. Do you believe in that theory? And often we've seen that investor summits will see many projections, but the reality is different. But will the Shubhendu Adhikari government change that? Will the plug be gap? Will the gap be plugged?
See, I I believe that absolutely the image makeover of the state is essential. Uh, I would say that, to a great extent, the very fact that there is a, government like the BJP, and everybody understands that the BJP or the Narendra Modi government has been very progressive in terms of their whole policy making efforts are concerned. So obviously, Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari would also be following the same footsteps of the Prime Minister. and implementing many of these progressive measures. But if I had to sum up, and I'll probably say that Bengal needs a number of eyes. So one, of course, you said is the image, which is I can feel it right now. I've been to some conferences in the last 3 or 4 days. The topmost industrialists of the country or people across the world have been now speaking about coming to Bengal and exploring opportunity, because there is that typical FOMO attitude, that the fear of missing out. So nobody wants to miss out on this great opportunity that could come in Bengal. So to that extent, the image has already started improving. The other is industry. We need industry desperately. I absolutely agree with Dr. Singh that we need one large ticket investment. But I would probably go ahead and say we need many more large ticket investments, because if you look at MSME, it is a backbone of an economy. But MSME in isolation will not, in today's world, be able to survive. They have to come in as a part of ecosystem. So there has to be an anchor industry. When anchor industry, or I would say there has to be many anchor industries, and when the anchor industry comes, there are many industries or MSMEs that come up, around that. And I can again give our case in point. We have consciously been wanting to source most of our equipments from the state of West Bengal. We are the largest rolling stock manufacturer in the country. And we are further expanding that. So apart from being a leading freight wagon manufacturer, we are also now a leading passenger train manufacturer. And we are also looking at getting into the bullet speed or the high speed train manufacturing as well. So, such industries which are labor intensive are essential. Of course, services are, but industry is very required. And in order to get industry, we need incentives. So one of, why did semiconductor not come here, or why are industries going away to other states? And I can speak from my own experience also that some of our investments we had to take out of the state, very large investments from our standard, because there have been no incentive policy. Land has been a scarce commodity. It has been very expensive. There are certain very archaic acts which are still prevalent in India, like the Urban Land Ceiling Act. So that has kind of been an impediment for industry to come in. So all those will be quick fixes that we will be looking forward to. Infrastructure we have already spoken about, and all of this will lead to, maybe not grammatically but phonetically, another I, which is employment. So that's what we require in the state. So overall, with all this, I believe engineering services, uh, other kinds of manufacturing, all sorts of industry, whether it's high tech manufacturing or mid tech in manufacturing, will have to come back to state. And I'll also add two more aspects to this, why I believe this will come back with the new government being in place. One is the geographical location of the state of West Bengal. It has a large captive market, but it will also a natural route to the northeastern market or to the neighboring countries. So there is a large market that is available. And the second is the talent pool. Today, as Bengalis, we all know that there are so many people, so many talented people from Bengal who have actually gone away to the other states. So there are people who are knowledgeable, who are talented, who are skilled, who are hardworking, but they did not have opportunities within the state, so they went away. So now with all the changes that are going to happen from the new government, they will definitely come back, and any industry would love to have those talents within themselves or by themselves, and then create industrial ecosystems in Bengal.
So, Mr. Chaudhary, you spoke about Bengal being the gateway to the entire East. Do you think in the coming months and years, it will also become a gateway to India in some sense? In the industrial and economic landscape, will we talk of Bengal from that lens as well?
100%. I have no doubt about that in my mind. India is already doing many things which is catering to the world. People talk about Calcutta as not doing much in the field of manufacturing. Again, to speak about our own company, we have done the metro systems or metro coaches for Pune. We've done the metro coaches for Bangalore. We are doing the metro coaches for Ahmedabad and Surat. We are doing it for Mumbai. We are doing Vande Bharat trains. So these are going across the country. And metro systems are sophisticated modern trains. So, and who is producing them? I mean, I don't go and produce those trains by myself. These are the local boys and girls. We have almost about 15 to 20% girls who are working on our shop floor in the factories, in the coach factory. So there is so much of talent available. There's so much of hunger available today in the youngsters in Bengal, that all that was needed is a policy framework and a leadership to kind of support that and take advantage of that the talent and that hunger. And with this change of government, I'm 100% sure, I have absolutely no doubt that India will be a gateway to not only the eastern side of the country, but the entire country and the world itself.
That is very heartening to know. Ishita, as a journalist, what is the fix that you think is, topmost that is required at this point? The first thing.
I think there are a lot of low-hanging fruits, like Dr. Singh mentioned, the GCC policy. That has been in the works for a while now. Hopefully, the current government will come up with the policy. And in the services sector, the MSME, we need one or two large anchor industries, as Mr. Chaudhary also mentioned, in the manufacturing space, so that a vendor ecosystem is created, and which will boost smaller businesses. And the MSME base is robust, but the scale, there should be more medium-sized industries than the micro. So that basis, but again, we need that one big project which will transform the image of the state.
Right. Thanks, Ishita. Dr. Singh, how much time will you give to this government for signs of change to be seen, actually? Is there any time frame in mind?
I think they don't need any time. The change signs are already visible because Mr. Chaudhary mentioned that we travel out and like the curiosity about the state, how the state is going to do, what outlook. So that's one. Secondly, some changes, like you look at the policies which were announced at their recent cabinet meeting. So you see the direction. Also, in our neighborhood, you look at the state of Assam. It took, let's say, 1 year or so, but then you start seeing, we started seeing plenty of changes on ground. So I think the change has already begun. What probably government has to do, they have to look at some quick wins, low-hanging fruits, like what we just heard in terms of policies. I would say Bengal needs an industrial policy first, because that is what we don't have. Second, I would say, of course, several anchors, but let's say, if I can say what I would like to see, maybe a big announcement by the Tata Group itself. So that would probably would be a huge sign of confidence by the corporate India, and Tata, of course, is an iconic brand, for them to come back. Third, I would say Bengal needs some more flights. We used to have flights to Europe, UK, we lost all that. And now what's happening in GCC countries, I think, and also looking at the traffic, what Bengal need is more connectivity. And why Calcutta or West Bengal should only look at gateway to India, it should become a gateway to ASEAN, South Asia, and it should connect with the larger world. So that way there are many things which can be done. And lastly, I would say, I think the existing industry, what not mistake, I would say, but what in many states we have seen that the states start running after new investors. My view is we should first take existing investors in confidence because they are our brand ambassador. And there is nobody else better than the existing industry anchors who have seen good times, bad times, who have stayed in the state. So they are the best brand ambassadors for the state. Engage with them, take them on board, and then reach out to the world. I think that is, in my view, is the best thing. But for us, what specifically you asked for us to see concrete actions, I think some actions have already begun, but definitely within next 6 months, we will see some impact, definitely.
Dr. Singh, you mentioned big announcements could come from, some big groups. So have you got feelers from anybody yet?
Not yet. I think every company is now looking at it, and investors normally take some time to assess because right now it is only the change in sentiment and some announcements. But those companies would like to see the roadmap, uh, clarity on policies, and maybe they will also assess because, of course, investment is a process. They will have to look at what project, what ecosystem, what kind of MSME base we have here, what, I mean, where are the consumer markets, the logistics costs, land issues. So investments probably will take some time, and especially for the big ones. But what we know for sure that the large companies are very keenly looking at West Bengal. And what we have seen, like we have seen Bengal Global Business Summits, BGBS. Now imagine if you have the Prime Minister Modi attending a summit like that, and you have countries, 20, 30, 40 big anchor investors there. And of course, everything will not convert, but what many of the states easily achieve is 30 to 40% conversion from MOUs to actual investments. So I think these are the things, and maybe a quick interaction with industry, which exists in the state already, and then of course with right kind of policies, right kind of plan in place, then we should reach out and try to also bring them to the state.
Chowdhary, last question for you before we take a few audience questions. We did not discuss anything on startups and entrepreneurship. What are your thoughts there? Can Bengal be a hub?
Definitely, it can. You see, when I speak about the industry at large, industry is all encompassing. It includes manufacturing industry, it includes industry, it includes tertiary industry, and it includes the startups. And once again, not to be kind of be parochial, but Bengalis do have good brains, and it's only that we've not really leveraged them to the fullest. And we have IIT, IIM, both out of Calcutta, the premier ones, Kharagpur and IIM Joka. So there are a number of students that come out of there, and they would like to start something afresh. So there will be no lack of ideas and talents. What is definitely missing is the ecosystem. And to add to what Dr. Singh said, I fully agree with whatever he said, and he put it in his normal style in a very, very cogent manner. But it's also the policy announcements specifically on black over white incentives. I mean, we have large investment plans that we can commit to the state. We today employ directly about 7,500 people and indirectly about 30,000 people. And I can clearly see a roadmap where we can actually double this within the tenure of this government itself. And but we definitely would like to see the roadmap of the incentives, about the policies. We know for sure they will come, but it's always being listed companies. It's also necessary to have the policies black over white. So I would say that startups will definitely come up, and so would other forms of industry. So I see absolutely no reasons for any skepticism by any quarters anymore. because I think Bengal is very well on its way to growth and really becoming assuming the place it truly deserves.
I'll take some audience questions. There are many. We can take a few. One question is from Enakshi Ghosh. The question is, what is your vision for future youth of West Bengal? How can they shape their career?
This
Whoever
is,
wants to take this question.
Mr.
I think
Chowdhary?
if I can say, then my biggest message to the youth of West Bengal is stay in West Bengal. You are all talented, you are all hardworking, you are extremely precious to the state of West Bengal. There is opportunity that is there in Bengal, and there is opportunity that will come up in West Bengal. So please either stay or come back to Bengal and make the state grow.
The next question is kind of related from Mr. Sanjay Bhatia. Is the human capital going to improve in West Bengal?
Maybe Dr. Singh would like to answer
Sure.
that.
I think what we have said maybe few times, that human capital is already of great quality. It's only that Bengal has lost the talent to other states. And if the state grows and the ecosystem is conducive, and if there are ample job opportunities, and also there are ample opportunities for startups, smaller enterprises to grow, I think the talent is going to come back. So the state has no dearth of talent. It's only the opportunities which basically drive people to move from one place to another place. And but of course, when when the opportunities unlock, when the state starts to attract newer investments, we also as a state need to invest on building the capacity, focus on skilling, training, upskilling. So all that is required, and I think Bengal has the base talent in place. It only needs maybe a little bit of polishing and orienting them towards what the companies, investors, industries would need.
The next question is a bit tricky. It's on freebies. The previous government was known for freebies. Should the West Bengal government continue with the freebies? Who wants to take that question?
I'm happy to do that, and I'll give my perspective. You see, we are in a society which has all sorts of strata, what all sections of society. And while the I'm sure the speakers in this webinar and also the participants of this webinar belong to a certain strata, we cannot really overlook the underprivileged strata of the societies. And the work of the government is much more complex than what you and I can actually think about, whoever is asking this question. So I think that we should not take the freebies as freebies. This government has been very particular. I'm talking about the Modi government has been very particular in arresting the leakages in the freebies. And if in fact, I do not like the word freebies. I would say the subsidies or the support. So the support that has been given by way of direct cash transfer or DBTs, etc., have ensured that at least 1 rupee going out of the pocket of the government, 1 rupee reaches the person who is in need of that rupee, and it's not lost in translation or lost in the pipeline. So that should continue, and that must continue, because as a comprehensive society, we will need to ensure that all strata, the entire strata and the sections of the society are taken care of. And the government is in its best position. We have put them in that position to kind of define what they need to do.
Thanks, Mr. Chowdhary. You have to take the next question. It's meant for you. I can't make out uh, the name of the person who sent this question. It's from an email ID which doesn't look real. What is the long-term vision for TRSL to innovate Indian railways and make it an international standard?
So we are already doing a lot. We started Titagarh 26, 27 years ago as a mere wagon manufacturer. Today, we are in the other end of the spectrum where we are doing sophisticated trains. We have continuously upgraded ourselves. We have continuously uh, kind of invested in creating of capabilities and capacities. Today, Titagarh is one of the only companies in this sector which is actually investing a lot on R&D. We employ now close to 200 people exclusively on design, engineering, research, and development. We have three design centers in Calcutta, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. And probably I'll say this. I said this earlier also in some other forum that a lot of our expert engineers working in Bangalore and Hyderabad are Bengalis. So they did not want to come back to Calcutta, and I hope that things will change now. But to come back to the question, we are continuously upgrading ourselves. And I mentioned a little while ago, the next target that we have is to get into the high-speed trains. And if whoever has asked this question has been on one of the metro trains that Titagarh has supplied, now it's running in Pune, in Bangalore, and the trials are on in Patna and in Gujarat, in Surat. You would see what global standard trains look like.
Right. The last question is for you, Dr. Singh. It's from Amit Tanwar of Business Standard. Will we see industries coming back to Kolkata now? You've spoken about it, but maybe last words.
See, again, as I had said, the industrial landscape and the landscape for the investors is highly, highly competitive. First of all, companies decide which countries to look at. Then secondly, companies look at which state. And then they basically scan the entire ecosystem, the vendor base, costing, access, logistics, supply chains. And that is how the investment decisions are made. So I don't think any investments can come back because whatever is invested is there. But of course, the expansions and newer investments can always happen, but these are governed by the market dynamics. These are not, let's say, based on sentiments. When the board decides, they actually get into detail of everything. They look at, because after all, they have to compete in the market. And the competition is not only with Indian companies, but the competition is global. So, but of course, this change, the change in sentiments and the policies which we expect will be in place definitely makes a strong case for the investors which had left the state to come back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, we have completely run out of time. The topics, the issues that we have discussed are like wide-ranging. And important points coming out of the discussion are action is required, and there are signs of action already. Within 6 months, we'll see some concrete steps being taken. Incentives should come, but in a different way. Anchor investor and the need for anchor investors. I think all the panelists have spoken about that. And there has to be an ecosystem in place to nurture investment and to create jobs. Thank you. Thank you so much to all the panelists, and see you all next Thursday with another exciting topic in Business Standard Dialogue. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.